there, welcome back to Spring into Math 7. I'm Mrs. Campbell, and today we're going to be talking about properties of rational numbers. Let's get started. Okay, so when we're talking about rational numbers, it's really important to have a good definition. If you need to, write this down, put it on a flashcard. Somehow you're going to want to remember that rational numbers include fractions, integers, and whole numbers. Another way that's easy to remember what a rational number is to remember that it can be put into the format of the fraction a over b, assuming that b doesn't equal 0. I really like these two graphics. It's important that we talk about equivalent fractions and what that means. If you think of these two pictures, I'm going to mark my pen here, as pies. Let's pretend for a second that you've got two separate pies here. This pie is cut into how many pieces? 4 pieces. And this pie is cut into how many pieces? 2 pieces. Okay. Now let's pretend that the yellow part of the pie is the part of the pie that you ate. Now, on this graphic, you would have eaten 2 pieces of pie. So 2 out of the 4 pieces of pie would have been eaten. Interestingly though, even though this is only one large piece of pie, it's exactly the same amount of pie. This is just a really nice graphic to show you how fractions can be equivalent. They're exactly the same. Okay, so it's really important too that you get comfortable with reducing fractions or getting them into their simplest form. Now, with our pi example, that was pretty easy. You probably were able to do that in your head. 2 over 4 is the same as 1/2. To simplify, one of the ways you could do it, now I'm going to show you an example in a minute about how you can divide to simplify, but another way that you can simplify fractions is to write the numbers out in their prime factor form. So 2 over 4 can be written as 2 over 1 over 2 times 1 over 2 times 2 times 1. That's pretty simple. Then we cancel out the numbers that are the same. So we would get rid of our 2's and simply multiply our remaining numbers, which is 1 and 2. 2 times 1. So 1 over 2, 1/2. So 2/4 is the equivalent fraction to 1/2. It's also really important that you become well versed at classifying the different types of fractions. We talked about this a little bit in the last video, but I just want to take a minute and revisit, make sure that you've got a strong grasp on how to classify fractions and how to be sure that you know if they are or are not in simplest form. So let's take a look at some of these. The first one is 3 over 7. Now, the way that we would label this, the way that we would classify this fraction is we would say that it is a proper fraction because the numerator, or the number on the top, 3, is smaller than the denominator, the number on the bottom. So 3/7, it is a proper fraction, and it's also in its simplest form. It's simplified because it has both prime numbers. 3 is prime and 7 is prime. So that was a pretty easy one. What about 9 over 3? This is where you should remember that definition of an improper fraction is when the numerator, or the number on the top, is larger than the denominator, or the number on the bottom. So this 9 over 3 would be a perfect example of an improper fraction. And to simplify it, we would have to turn it into the whole number 3. Okay. One more, that is, what about 50 over 60? That's a proper fraction because our numerator is smaller than our denominator, but is it simplified? I don't think so. Now, if you wanted to, like I did in the example of 2 over 4 being equivalent to 1 over 2, you could break this down, write out the factors, and then cancel all the numbers that are the same. Or if you can kind of eyeball it, which you probably are able to do, 50 over 60, we can tell because they both end in 0, are both divisible by 10. So this one's actually pretty simple to simplify. And 50 over 60 is simplified 5 over 6. So you really want to get good. Keep practicing simplifying fractions. Keep practicing classifying fractions. Make sure that you can understand and be able to identify a proper fraction versus an improper fraction versus a mixed number. Practice understanding if things are simplified or not, if your fractions are simplified or not. And if they aren't, just keep on practicing. You'll get it. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you next time.